course, I am speaking to the people who will be watching on the replay. Since no one's here yet, but we are going to wait to see who pops up. And if you guys have not noticed, I have a new setup here. So I'm shooting from a new angle because I finally put up my ring light and my tripod, so I have better lighting now, so you don't see those weird shadows casting on my face and all that stuff, and also, like, I love the fact that, like, I can look at you guys now instead of, like, looking down, because even though it wasn't that bad, it's like, that's not, what I wanted to convey, because if you watch a lot of people who give pointers on how to do live videos or just any type of videos where you're interacting with an audience, they will tell you, look, don't look down, look at them face to face. So I'm so glad that I was finally able, to set everything up. So still have not been in the mood to shoot YouTube videos, but I'm taking baby steps. I have things outlined and ready to go. It just takes me sitting in front of the camera, but like I mentioned to you guys before, these live videos are much easier. I just get on here and I talk, and I'm also trying to get in the habit of actually looking, into the camera and not into the phone, but it's a habit. So just bear with me. If you see me going back and forth, that's just me trying to connect more, trying to be more interactive, but I hope you all have been doing well. If you saw my post last week, I did not go live due to inclement weather. And even though we were not affected where I live, there was a tornado that wasn't too far from where I live, so it was pretty crazy. You guys know how you get the weather alerts on your phone? I had never seen it stream, you know. So I was like, oh, wow, this is serious, So I'm glad I made that call and canceled, and I'm glad that the sun is out today, even though the weather was kind of bad yesterday. But I was like, look, regardless, I am going on with it because I didn't want to fall too behind schedule, which is easy to do when you fall out of the habit of doing things, And like I told you guys in my last video, which was last month, in my Q&A video, that I didn't feel that well, so that's why it wasn't that many videos last month, but I'm going to make up for it, so it's going to be a lot of good content, and also it inspired tonight's video, a change of plans, so let me do a time check here. It is 6:03, so I am going to go ahead and get started. So we have someone who joined. Hello. So you are just in time. I was just about to get started with everything. So to give you guys a backstory for the title, A Change of Plans, last month I had a lot of plans that were changed. And I announced at the end of February that I wanted to use March as like an homage to women in business and just women who were willing to share their personal stories. I had all these ideas for panel discussions, but it did not happen. And, a lot of unexpected things happen. And one thing that I know is whenever I don't feel well, I know that's God's way of telling me I need to slow down. I need to chill out, because sometimes you can't get overly excited. And it's not that what you're doing isn't the right thing. Sometimes it's just not the right thing for right now, So I didn't argue. It was like, okay, let me just take this time to just rest and reset. But I realized that in that, it takes a lot of growing. It takes a lot of learning to get to that point where you are able to realize, like, okay, God, like, this wasn't an attack against me. This was just me needing to just take a breather to figure out what I need to be doing in the meantime. So I want to help you guys be okay with the plans that change, with the plans that don't go the way that you want them to, the plans that do not work out. So I'm going to go over 3 tips to help you guys manage a change of plans regardless of where you are in life. And oftentimes it can be the loss of jobs, opportunities. It could be the loss of relationships, even people. These are things that I mentioned before. A change of plans is a change of plans, no matter how big or how small. So regardless of where you are, here are 3 tips to help you out. And since I have had a lot going on, like I got my handy dandy notes, just in case I draw a blank, So if you guys see me glance over to my left, that's what I'm doing. I'm looking at my notes to make sure that I do not leave anything out. So with that, let me go ahead and make sure that the page is turned so I can keep up with where I am. So, number 1, so the first tip that I wanted to share with you all to help you survive a change of plans is just to allow yourself time to process the change. Oftentimes, things don't work out the way that we want them to. It is devastating. We become distraught. So in that, we might be angry, we might be upset, we might be sad, sometimes we might be resentful. Someone else joined. Hello. So in that, oftentimes you will hear people tell you that it's like, you immediately have to pick up and keep going. Do not do that. Take the time to feel whatever it is that you feel. Because if you don't, you are going to carry that with you whenever you move on. So make sure that you take however long you need to, like, to just feel what you feel. If you're mad, if you're sad, if you need to grieve, whatever it is, just do that. Make sure that you get it out, because you can't bring that with you as you continue to move forward. So once you're able to get all those emotions worked through, then you start to come up with a plan to reach a level of acceptance. And one of the ways that I do this is just by repeating mentally or verbally what it is that I need to accept. So for instance, let's just say that you had a plan to get this job and move up the social ladder, but it did not happen, right? So it's like now you're still at the same job, and it's like wondering if you will ever be able to reach the point in your career that you want to. So with that, tell yourself so. No, I didn't receive a promotion, but I'm okay with that. Even in a relationship. No, the relationship did not work out, but I'm okay with that. No, the move did not work out, but I'm okay with that. So you have to be able to repeat that to yourself so that your mind can start to just repeat it to you. So oftentimes whenever you're in those moments where you're starting to fall back into being angry or mad or upset, automatically your mind will be like, nope, we're not doing that. Remember what you said? You said that you were okay with that. So even if you do not feel that way in the beginning, tell yourself that. Tell yourself, like, no, it did not happen. It did not work out the way I wanted to, but guess what? I am okay. So once you're giving yourself time to just process everything that you need to process, here is where you need to shift your focus. So you shift your focus from the future and you put it on the present. We have someone else who joined. Hi, Felix. So with that, oftentimes we feel that where we are just ain't it. Like, I'm not making enough money here. I'm not happy enough here. I don't have enough of the things that I want here. So you always think that the future holds the secret to all of these things. So it's like, if only I can get to this next point. If only I can make it there. Then I'll have more money. Then I'll be happier. Then I'll have all the things that I want. But oftentimes that is a setup for yet another plan to not go the way that you expect it to. Because your focus is on the wrong thing. And whenever you are still where you are, that is a moment for you to just take time to learn whatever it is that you need to learn from the present moment. The reason why you weren't able to move forward is because you still have not learned all the things that you need in order to be able to survive in the future. So while yes, it may seem as if you are being disrupted from your plans, but see it as a reroute. See it as this is a better way to get to where you want to be. And this is to ensure you definitely will be where you are intended to be, which sometimes isn't always how we envision it, because we have one plan in mind and then life just happens and it shifts it. So remember, the goal is always to just be content with where you are, to find peace with where you are, and not to be resentful of where you are, not to have bitterness toward where you are, but just be accepting of where you are. And whenever you're able to accept where you are, you can be at peace. You can be grateful for where you are. You can have gratitude. Hey, Timothy. And in those moments, you realize that, okay, that didn't happen for this particular reason. And even if you cannot find the answer, if it's difficult for the answer to present itself, allow yourself to be open to new opportunities. I don't understand why that job didn't come through, but hey, I'm open to something else if that's for me. And oftentimes it might just be, hey, I could be exactly where I need to be. There's nothing wrong with where I am. And in the moment that I need to move forward, I will. Someone else join. Hey, how have you been, Timothy? So, like I mentioned, shift your focus from the future and focus on what you can learn in the present. So just to give you guys a recap of the 2 tips that I just shared about how to survive a change of plans regardless of where you are in life. So number 1, you have to allow yourself time to process what you feel. So whatever the change of plans was, allow yourself to just process everything that you're feeling about it. Then shift your focus to acceptance. And number 2, shift your focus from the future to the present. So instead of focusing on like, okay, I will be better once I get to this particular point, figure out how you can be better where you are. That's awesome. Awesome. So Number three. So for me, this one is a really, really, really big one. So one of the things that I absolutely love that I am able to do, because I was not always at this point in life, I love that now I can remember how I was able to survive all the other times that all these changes happened to my plans. And sometimes, like I said, it can seem like the worst thing ever in life when it happens, but when you're able to look back, it's like, wait a minute, I'm not still there. I was able to make it through with God's help, you know. And I know for some people who may not be spiritual people, you don't have to repeat it the same way that I do. We all perceive the world completely different. However, you do know that there was some force that helped you through. It wasn't just on your own strength alone. So, in that, I love that I am able to just reflect and think about all the times that it seemed as if I was never going to get to the next point in life, and I did. You know, and one of the things that I share a lot with people, it is my journey to being an entrepreneur. Me even being a writer and an editor. So I've been a writer all my life since I was a kid, you know. But when you're brought up to think that that's not a practical job, not a practical career, it's like you lose more in trying to become successful. So it's like, all right, I'm not going to take that route. So, of course, I went to college, went to grad school, got these 2 degrees, and it's like, wait a minute, where are the jobs? You know, they promised me as long as I got this, that was all I needed. And what was funny, I got more jobs before I had the degrees. But anyway, not to get sidetracked. So, even during that journey, it was like, nah, like, I don't want to accept the fact that I'm not getting hired, you know. So I cannot tell you how many applications I submitted. It may have been hundreds between the ones online and just reaching out to people via email. Like, it was a crazy experience. But I had to get to a point of surrender to where it's like, okay, God, whatever it is that you have for me right now. And He allowed me to use my gifts, the gifts that I always had, you know. And I wonder, had I followed that route earlier, would I have had as many bumps in the road as I did? But of course, there's no way of knowing that because life happened the way that it happened. But even with me accepting the fact that it's like, okay, I need to rely on my gifts more, I still wasn't willing to do it. I still was trying to fight against it. I wanted it to just be a side hustle. I did not want it to be my primary source of income because I still was tied to that plan of getting a regular job. You know, when I went to college, I thought I was going to be a psychologist. Then that changed to me being an instructor, a professor. So it's like I did not want to let that go. But I just had to get to that place where it's like, this is for you. This is the plan. And everything that is going to happen for you going forward is going to be in line with this particular plan. So, needless to say, you know, what started out as my side hustle, it is not my primary source of income. You know, and it took me just embracing this change, you know. And if I would have still continued to fight against it, I would not be here before you guys today. So, whenever I get to a point to where I get discouraged, you know, because a lot of people have been experiencing a hit since inflation, especially if you're in a service-based business. And we naturally have seasons to where it's high and it's low, but the low season went on a little longer than usual at the top of this year. But even during that, it's like always remember what you were able to be brought through. And there were times when I did not know if rent would be paid, if there would be food in the refrigerator, if bills would be paid. But guess what? I'm here, you know, and I was able to make it through all of those times. So it's like, regardless of what I'm facing, I know that I will be able to make it through because guess what? I made it through before, and change is going to happen. It is inevitable. That is the one thing that we cannot control, and we just have to learn to embrace it and to go with it. So to give you guys a recap of how to survive a change of plans: number one, allow yourself time to process the change. Number two, shift your focus from the future to the present. And number three, always remember how you've been able to make it through, regardless of what the change was. However, how long ago it was, you were still able to make it through. And just like you were able to make it through then, you will be able to make it through now. So I thank you guys so much for tuning in for this video. And I am still in the process of getting back into the hang of things. So I do want to say that I will be back in 2 weeks, but I don't know that for a fact. The last couple of times I said that, it was longer than 2 weeks. It was more like 3. But I really am working on getting back into the hang of doing live videos. And I have not let go of all the plans that I had for March. You know, I'm just going to do them later. You know, just going to continue to take my time because the things I wanted to do was already delayed from last year. So it's like, it's going on even longer. But even with that, I'm still gonna move forward, you know. So my sister's here. Hi, Luanda. You just joined us at the end, but I'll be sure to catch you up. So, like I mentioned before, I'm not exactly sure of the schedule, but ideally, I do want to say 2 weeks, but if not, I will let you guys know. And if you all are business owners and you are interested in learning about a rebrand versus a brand refresh, tune in to Pick My Brain tomorrow on At Masterpieces Writing at 6 p.m. Central. And I'll be able to share some tips with you guys to help you figure out which one works for you. And I'll also be sharing my personal experience as to why I chose to do a brand refresh. Hey, how are you doing today? So, in case you haven't noticed, I have my new setup. So let me know what you think about it. So, like I mentioned, if you guys want to tune in tomorrow, make sure that you are following me on At Masterpieces Writing. Make sure that you click the bell so that you can get the notification when I go live. And I have also been having a secret sale going on with my current clients. It's a pay what you want sale. And if you are interested, make sure that you go to my website and you can either send me an email or submit a contact us form and put pay what you want in the subject of your message, and I will send you all the details. And let me tell you, I only have 2 spots available because they started to fill up. And also, if you are interested in catching a great deal on my ebooks, you can go to Gumroad right now, and I have the pay what you want sale there as well. So there is a minimum, and you'll be able to see that when you get there, but you can pay up until a certain point. All right, well, I would definitely call you after I get off of here. Thank you. So my sister was saying take advantage of the sale. You will not be disappointed. Not was in all capital letters. Trust me, you won't. Like, when I tell you, people were super excited when I let them know about it. And I haven't even released this to my mailing list yet because my current clients were like responding to it so much. So it's like I only have 2 slots available. And like I said, just go to the link in bio, visit my website, submit a contact us form, put pay what you want in the subject, and I will send you all the details. And if you just want to book with me, anyway, make sure that you go to the link in the bio as well and browse all the services that I have available. And if you have any questions, you can DM me. You can also leave a comment here. And I forgot to say that anyone who had questions throughout the video, they could submit them in the comments or in the questions box, because my Q&A video did so well last time that I'm like, okay, I'm going to make questions a part of it every single video. But of course, I forgot to say that at the top of the video. But I will remember hopefully tomorrow, and of course for every video after that. So again, make sure that you guys go to the link in the bio, check out all the things that I am doing. And just to give my sister a recap, I was talking to everyone about how to survive a change of plans. And number 1 was to allow yourself time to process the change. Number 2 was to shift your focus from the future to the present. And number 3 was always to remember all the other changes that you were able to make it through. So we were able to have a really good discussion tonight, and I look forward to having even more, because while I was thinking about what I was going to say tonight, I got an idea for another video. So I cannot wait to share that with you all, and I do still have some great things that are coming, so just stay tuned. Someone else joined. So I'm just wrapping everything up, and I do appreciate you guys for tuning in, and I do apologize for the sporadic videos. Thank you, dear. But I do plan on getting back into the swing of things, so just stay tuned. And I am still working on the blog. I'm still working on the book. All of that will be coming out pretty soon. I'll share more details. And client work has picked up a lot, so I've been super busy with that. But I love the fact that most of my projects are writing projects, and I absolutely love to write. Like, that's when I'm really in the zone, you know. So I'm super excited, and I just really love being in this space and being able to come here with you guys and share these things with you. And if ever you just wanted to share what you guys are working on with me, I would love to hear. You know, it doesn't have to be about a transaction, about you working with me. It's like, you can just talk to me if you want, which is why my DMs are always open, the comments are always open. You can email me, you know, you can connect with me in a lot of ways. So just make sure that you reach out and that you take advantage, you know, because one of my main goals is to just be more present, is to build more community. So in any way that I can serve you guys, just be sure to let me know. So as always, I thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. And don't forget to tune in to Pick My Brain tomorrow at 6 p.m. to learn about a rebrand versus a brand refresh. So again, make sure you're following me on @MasterPiecesWriting, and I will see you guys tomorrow. So have a good night, and I will see you all soon. Bye.